Welcome to Wild West Garage. My name's Morgan, and that's a 2002 Sierra 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive. So just having a little problem on this truck with the park brake. Initially I thought there was something wrong with the pedal assembly. The ratchet in there wasn't working properly. So then I did a little research on it, of course, on the internet, and there was some discussion about resetting it somehow. I think that might have been more to do with when you're putting new cables on, just to take up, or just to get the slack back in it, so you can put the new cable on, or if you do a shoe replacement or whatever, you're going to need some extra slack, right? It's going to tighten everything up. So I had another look at it, and it looked to me like there was nothing wrong with the pedal. So then I thought, well, maybe the shoes fell apart in the, like in the drum, because it happened quite suddenly. It was good, and then it was no good. So anyways, that's where I was going, and then so I put the truck up on the hoist, and I found, I'll show you, and I found this. So the cable, the casing on the cable, I guess, got compromised in some way, and then the metal sheathing rusted away, and it just collapsed. Hope you can see that. It's not, the lighting's not that great here. So so that explains everything, right? So I'm just in the process of replacing this cable, and so you see this end here? It's got these little tabs that stick out, and if you're trying to save this cable, you'd want to push those tabs in. But because this cable's already junk, I didn't waste any time on them. I just took a hammer and smashed this through the hole. That's the quickest way I find to take out a junk cable. At first I started trying to squeeze those tabs, and I thought, wait a minute, this thing's junk. So it was smash time. Comes out pretty quick when you do that. So, same thing on this side. Just took a zip disc, hacked the cable off, and now I'm going to pound that out through the bracket. I'm not messing around. There we go. A couple of light taps with the hammer, and it's out. It just came apart, junk. And here's the clip thing. Actually, it's all plastic, so it came out of there real easy. Why mess around? And just a little side note, this is a pretty big truck. I don't know what it weighs. Probably close to 7,000 pounds as it's dressed out here with this topper on it, and it's got a tent on the top of that, and it's got a Duramax in it. So it's a big, heavy truck. This hoist is rated to 8,000 pounds. So, you know, obviously it lifted it, so it's, you know, it's within that range. So this is a thing that I do. You know, these trucks are kind of, I'm not going to say I'm uncomfortable lifting a big truck like this on my hoist, but I do take some precautions. So this is an older hoist, so it doesn't have any locking mechanisms on the arms to keep them from swinging around. So what I do is I take a ratchet strap, and see how I've got this on the spring hanger. That was just the most kind of practical place to put the lift. So anyways, I got this ratchet strap wrapped around the spring and everything here, and going right across to the other side. Just, you know, just to keep this all kind of hanging together here. I don't want any surprises when I'm underneath the truck. So this gives me just another layer of confidence, I guess, in the whole setup. I've had trucks. Well, I've had a truck shift off the hoist on me, and that was my fault because I was working on the front suspension, and I had a jack on the floor and a piece of 4x4 pushing on the control arm, and I pushed it a little bit too far, and it actually lifted the front of the truck, and it tipped over. It just slid over, and anyways, the truck had big heavy running boards on it, so it kind of rested on here, and you know, it didn't come crashing down on me. And because I have a forklift, I was able just to get in there, access. It was pointing out the front end of the truck was pointing toward the door, so I was able to get in there with my forklift and move it over back onto the arms. But anyways, I just thought I'd, you know, share this with somebody that's got an older hoist maybe that has some concerns like I do about securement while you're up in the air. It took me maybe a couple minutes to put that on there, so I think it's well worth it. And one more thing about hoists. You know, I don't have them, and I should. Something I'm strongly considering getting or making myself is some tall stands, some jack stands that can reach the frame of this truck when it's up this high, or even there's one more notch to go on this machine, so you can get up high enough to walk right under it. But some tall stands, especially for heavier vehicles like this. You know, the hoist is, you know, it's made to lift cars and trucks, but you know, if you're going to do any heavy work on this thing, like remove a rear diff or something, when it's up in the air, it's a good idea to put stands under the truck just as an extra layer of safety, just like that ratchet strap's an extra layer of safety for me right now. So I didn't have to reset the park brake like I was talking about to get enough slack out of this thing. All I did was I grabbed onto the cable right here, pulled back as far as I could, and then I took a vice grip to keep it from going back. And this truck looks like somebody added this piece of split rubber hose here through this frame bracket. So, you know, I guess if you didn't have this on your truck, which you probably don't, you could put a little piece of hose here just to. I didn't want to clamp directly onto the cable because it is got a nylon coating on it, like sheath. So I didn't want to damage that. So that's holding it, and so as you can see here, there's plenty of slack for me to get that in there, no problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. I can't do it with one hand, so. Okay, as you can see, I've got that in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and release these. That should all kind of spring back on me a little bit. It did, yeah. So I'm just going to pull on it over here. Get this back over top of the cable here. That's a good idea. If this isn't factory, it's a good thing to do to help protect your cable. So now I'm going to go here and pull on it. See that popped everything back into place there. Got that cable seated. The new cable popped through the hole right there. The tabs are out now. So it just remains to be seen what happens when I push the pedal down. If it grabs the, you know, if it pushes the shoes out far enough on the park brake. So after I replaced the cable, the park brake still wouldn't hold the truck. It would hold it up to about 1100 RPM in drive, but it would just roll backwards at idle in reverse. So this is the adjustment. It's really hard to get at it on this side. It's right down there in that black area. But so I had this chunk of mirror here, so you can see that shiny bit in there. That's the adjuster star wheel. And I used this tool here. Let's wipe it off. This tool here to get at it, and just, you know, I turned it until I couldn't turn the the rotor by hand anymore, and then I turned it back a click or two until I could turn this. So I'm pretty sure it's going to hold really well now, because I adjusted the other side, and it was holding a lot better. And so now that I've got this side adjusted, I'm quite confident that it's going to hold really well. So the reason I took the wheel off is because it's really difficult to, you know, get in here, as you can see. And taking the wheel off just made it that much easier, a lot easier. So I'm just going to show this thing that I made. So I thought there was an issue with the cables being too long, slightly too long, so I made this thing to effectively shorten or take up some of the slack in the cable. So anyways, I'm going to take this off because I don't think I need it now. You know, I'm only showing it because I just thought it was part of my, you know, my deal on this. You know, just what I went through to get this figured out. You know, and actually this did not make any difference in how the park brake worked. So that tells me that the park brake, because it's an auto slack adjuster, it just took up as much slack as it needed to, regardless of this thing. I guess if you put a bunch of these in here, it might make it so that slack adjuster doesn't work properly. But you know, I'm pretty sure this isn't necessary. I'm going to take it out, and I'm pretty positive that the brake is going to work nicely. Well, working on that type of e-brake system is frustrating, to say the least. I maintained a fleet of 2004 Dodge 1-tons that had the same brake system on them, and I could never get them to work satisfactorily. I'd get them to work, and then, you know, within days they'd be not working. You know, I'd put all new parts in, and they just did not hold the truck. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's just garbage. But anyways, I made this video anyways. Maybe somebody will see it and they can make a comment, and maybe they'll agree with me, or they'll disagree with me, or offer some advice on how I can make these park brakes work. You know, it's kind of like, okay, you gotta, to me it's like you've got a truck that weighs like, I don't know, 65, 70, 500 pounds, and you got Hyundai Pony brakes trying to hold it. Doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I think the best way to fix these trucks is just to go back to 11, 12-inch drum brakes on the back. Those park brakes held trucks on hills. Anyways, at least I've got it so when you put it in reverse, it doesn't drive away. I did end up putting that zigzaggy cable thing back in. I don't know if I really had to. I was just getting frustrated. You know, when I first tried it, it didn't hold the truck at all. It was like I did nothing. So then I put that thing back in and it seemed like it was a little bit better. And then I actually readjusted the star wheel, right side, cranked it right up, backed it off a notch, and it's, you know, it's still not great, but it's better than it was. So that's where I'm ending it. I talked to my friend. He said just forget about it. It's you know, I've got a wheel chock. So anyways, that's it for that. Thanks for watching.